Thank you guys, everybody, for coming. So this is our third class, and those of you who are coming for the first time, thank you so much, especially driving from Wichita. That's awesome. Thank you. And then we're recording this, and we're going to have it on YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook.
You, not us.
The only thing you can see is, so we put those mats there so nobody would go there because you would be on camera there, but the only thing you can see in the camera is this. No.
You better make sure, Matt.
Now, Brandy, we can have you come up here. Okay. So we're doing this because Matt's sister Annie, she lives in California and she likes to join and do yoga with us. So we're doing, hi Annie, everybody say hi to Annie.
Hi, Annie.
So and she made herself a note that she almost forgot last week. So she made herself a note this week. And there's my sister Michelle. Hi Michelle. You want to come up front, Michelle?
I'm good.
Okay. For some reason, the back row is so full. I mean, so empty up here. Yes, thank you. I'm starting to wonder if do I stink or something? So we're working on sun salutation A's. So that's just a small little series of poses that flow together. So we'll start with that. And then after we kind of get warmed up with that, I want to introduce sun salutation B. So if you've practiced yoga before, you might be familiar with that. It's just a little bit more poses to it. And so the first half of class will be a little bit more active, and then the last half of class will kind of slow it down, and we'll do a lot of stretching and relaxing. And my hope is that by the end of class, you guys are just completely relaxed and you feel good, and you leave here feeling like you've had a couple. What is it you have in your fridge? Your Smirnoff Ice. Yes. That's my goal. Yeah, well, remember when we did this in Towanda, we had drinks at the end, so that's what the girls are requesting, so we might have to start bringing wine. Yeah. All right, well, to get started, let's go ahead and lay down on our backs, you guys. And I kind of like to start here just to get quiet for a little bit. So you can either leave your knees up and your feet down on the ground, or you can bring your feet together and then let your knees fall wide and kind of open up your groin. So really whatever feels best to your back. And you can just lay your hands on your belly and just take a big deep breath in. And then exhale it out through your mouth. When you exhale, just imagine getting rid of any negative energy, any stress that has happened throughout the day. Take a big inhale and exhale. And one more time, a big inhale. And an exhale. And just take a moment to think about why you're here. I think it's so good that you've taken some time just for yourself to relax, focus on yourself, work on a little strength and flexibility, but most importantly, developing just a little bit of inner peace, which we all need more of. And just try to let go of anything that happened during your day, any to-do list, any mental list that you're making that you have to do. Just try to let that go for now and just be here for the next 60 minutes. And then let's go ahead and hug our knees into our chest and wrap your arms around your knees if you can, and just give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug. You can rock side to side, and you can massage your low back with the ground. So you can kind of move your knees in a circle if that feels good, or you can go side to side. Just massage that low back. Let go of some of the tension there that has built. And then let's go ahead and take our strap. I hope everyone had a strap. I tried to hand those out at the beginning of the class. If you don't have one, we have plenty over on that cart. And then put the strap over the ball of your right foot. And your right foot is straight up in the air, and your foot is flat, like you can place it up on the ceiling. And you're holding the strap in your right hand, and you're pulling your toes back towards your right shoulder. And you're stretching the back side of that leg out. We don't stretch our hamstrings out very often in our lives, so this is really, really good. And you can even kind of move it back and forth just a little bit and see how that changes the stretch. If you bring that foot a little bit to the left, you'll feel the stretch all the way down the right side of your hip. And then if you open it up, it changes to the inside. So let's go ahead and open that foot all the way, whatever degree feels good for you. Don't overdo it. And stretch that groin out, that inner thigh, keeping your left leg pressed onto the ground. Your left shoulder is down to the ground. And then change the strap to your left hand and pull your right leg over to your left shoulder so it's a little across your body. And you're going to feel that stretch all the way down the outside of your hip, your IT band. Oh, that one feels good. Okay, so then let's switch to the other side. So we're going to put it on our left foot, the ball of the foot, just right behind your toes. Try to have your leg straight as much as possible. Even if that means your leg is out here, that's fine. You'll get there. It takes a while to build that flexibility. And then the toes are pulled back toward your shoulder. And you feel that stretch all the way down the back of your leg. And do the same thing with this, like kind of explore, bringing your leg to the right, bringing it to the left, and seeing how the stretch changes to either side of your leg. I even feel it into my arch. If your foot is really flat, you can feel that stretch through your arch, which I always have arch pain, so that feels so good. And then switch your strap to your left hand and then open that leg to whatever degree feels good and stretch your inner groin there. You can always kind of like move it around to see how that changes things, moving your hip in the socket. And then bring that leg up, strap to your right hand, and then foot comes over to that right shoulder. Stretching all the outside of that hip, your IT band, all the way down that left outer hip. Oh, I always feel that one a lot. Whew. Okay, all right, we can put our strap off to the side now. And then hug yourself again and roll out your ankles. So roll your feet to the right and then to the left. And if you're like me, you're going to have a bunch of snap and crackle and pop going on. And you can kind of flex your toes So bend and flex your feet. Just move them all around and see how that feels. We've been in shoes all day, so it feels good to move those feet around. And then go ahead and let's cross our right foot, ankle over our left leg, and then reach through that left leg with your hands. Your legs at like a figure four, and I like to push against my right leg with my right elbow and then pull with my hands until I feel that stretch in my hip. So you should be feeling that in your right hip there. You can lay your head back and you move side to side here. Just explore how that feels, stretching that out. And then we can just change sides. So right foot goes down, left ankle goes over the right leg, and then we're pulling that one in. Our hands are behind our quads there on the right leg, pushing against the left with your elbow, feeling that stretch in your left hip. All right. So from here, just take your hands behind your legs and then just kind of start to rock a little bit, up and back, rock. And this might pop out your back a little bit. And then you can just, the next time you come forward, just roll up to your knee. Sit back on there. So we can start in cat and cow. So we're going to go on our all fours. So our knees are right below our hips. Our hands, have your hands spread wide, like starfish hands, and then try to press more into your fingers and your knuckles, and not your the palm of your hand. More, we want the weight distributed more towards the fingers, so it doesn't hurt your wrists. And then your knees are directly under your hips. And you can kind of move back and forth. Kind of go in a circle. And then let's go ahead and stretch our right leg back. And your toes are down, pointed to the ground. And if that's enough, you can keep it there. And you want to just level with the ground. And then you can lift up your left arm with your thumbs towards the ceiling. And so this is a nice little balanced posture. Don't forget to suck in your belly button to your spine so you're engaging your abdominals here. We're building strength and balance with this posture. And then you can go ahead and tuck your knee and your elbow and touch them together. So you're curling in, and then you're extending back out. And let's do that a couple more times. Curl in, touch your knee to your elbow, extend back out, and one more. Extend back out, and then you can place it down. And then we'll try the other side. So left leg is now back, toes are pointed down to the ground, belly button is engaged. And then you can add your arm. Right arm is forward, thumb up to the ceiling. Imagine stretching out through your fingertips all the way to your toes. And then let's go ahead and round and touch our elbow to our knee. And then extend, round, exhale, extend, inhale, and one more. And extend. And then you can place that down. And from here, push into your hands and puff up your back and pull in your tummy. So this is cat pose, and then cow is you're letting your belly drop, looking up to the ceiling and letting that go. And we'll do a couple rounds of this.
So tuck your chin, pull in your belly, round your spine. Stretch through that whole spine.
And then inhale, look up. Exhale, round. And then inhale, look up. From here, we'll press into our first down dog. So you're pressing firmly into your fingers and your knuckles. Tuck your toes under, and then just push your hips back. So in down dog, your feet are hip width distance apart. They're not super close, but they're not spread too far. Your heels are trying to go towards the ground. Your back, you're trying to keep your back flat. Your lower back is flat, not rounded, flat. And your shoulders are pulled away from your ears. From here, let's just kind of pedal our feet out. So bend your right leg and press your left heel to the ground as much as it'll go. Don't force anything. And then switch. Bend your left leg, right goes to the ground. Let's just do that 2 more times. Left leg straight, right leg bent. Right leg straight, left leg bent. And then just let's take an inhale and slowly walk our feet up to our hands. And when you're at the top of your mat, we're just gonna fold down. We're just hanging here. You can tuck one hand into the elbow and then the other hand and just hang. This is called a rag doll. And you can sway side to side. Take an inhale and lift up halfway. And then let's take our right leg and put it behind your left foot. And now we're stretching out. So your left knee is a little bent, your right leg is straight, and you're stretching out that outer hip there. This is a really good IT band stretch as well. If you need, if you can't quite reach the ground, this is where the block is for. You can use that block to bring the ground a little bit closer to you. And then let's try the other side. So right foot comes forward, left foot goes behind. And then we're exploring that stretch in that left hip there. Moving side to side can kind of help stretch that out as well. All right, great. Come back to your forward fold. And then slowly, because we've been bent over, roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Oh, I need that. I feel a little more stretched out. I've been sitting at a desk all day, so that feels really good. Okay, so in our sun salutations, I'll take a drink real quick. We're gonna start in mountain pose. So in mountain pose, hi Becky, hi guys. Hey. You can stand up straight with your shoulders pulled back, and your hands can shine forward, and just imagine like shining your chest open, pulling your shoulders back, elongating your spine. You want your spine nice and long. And then take a big deep breath. This is mountain. So we want to have a real stable base here. So you can always pick up your toes and spread them wide and then place them back down. Just imagine you have a strong base like a tree. And then take an inhale and raise your arms up. And then exhale, you can swan dive forward to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, step your right leg back, your left leg back. It's plank pose. You're pushing through your shoulders, pulling your shoulders back from your ears, pushing through
your heels, you have your core engaged, and then you can lower your knees. And then with your elbows tucked into your chest, just slowly lower down. Straighten your legs out. And then cobra, you push into your hands and raise up with your elbows tucked into your ribs. And don't raise up too high, just gently. And then exhale. Tuck your toes and then come on to, push up to your knees and then back into down dog. So that's if you want to transition with your knees. The next time we do this, you can keep doing with your knees down, or we'll eliminate that and I'll show you kind of the next step if you want to keep advancing. So in down dog, go ahead and look forward between your hands and then just walk your feet forward in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, fold. And inhale all the way up. Stretch your arms. You can do a little back bend if you want. And then exhale to heart center. So that is the sun salutation A. And as we learn it and we practice it, we do it a little bit faster to where it really flows. But since we're kind of a beginner class, we're just going to take it nice and slow. So we'll do that again. This next time we'll probably go a little faster. If that was kind of challenging for you, just keep putting your knees down. Otherwise, we can try it with our knees up. So in mountain pose, chest is open, shoulders pulled back. Take a deep breath in, arms go up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands back to plank. You can either put your knees down, or you can kind of lean forward and you can slowly lower, slower the better, down to your mat. Inhale, push into your palms. Shoulders are back, elbows are tucked into your chest. Exhale. Tuck your toes under and push up into plank and then down dog. And then you can either walk your feet forward or you can lift your right leg up high and step it forward. Left leg meets your right leg. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. So the sun salutation is important because we can add poses onto that. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to use that as a basis and we're going to add a couple poses into that. So let's come to the top of our mat. Inhale, arms up, reach. Exhale, hold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and right leg goes back. But we're going to stop there and we're going to do something different. So this is your high lunge. So your right foot is back, your left leg is bent. You can bring your hands both on the inside of that so your legs open a little bit. You can like open up that leg and you can even push on that knee to open it more. And then go ahead and put your knee down to the ground, flatten your foot, and then we can kind of get into that a little bit more. So open your knee a little bit more and press into it with your palm. Your weight is on your right hand. Your left hand is pushing into that knee, and you're stretching all the way your groin. And then let's lean backwards. Our left toes go up to the sky, left leg is straight. And now we're changing the stretch to the back of that left leg. So you're pulling that left hip back. This is a half splits.
And you can kind of inhale and puff your chest, and then you can exhale and start to fold just as much as feels good to stretch out the back of that left leg. And then inhale, come back up to your runner's lunge. And then press that left leg back to your plank. And then back to down dog. Okay, so here in down dog, we're pressing into our fingers, spinning our triceps in, pulling our shoulders away from our ears, and pressing our heels down to the ground. And then let's inhale and take that right leg up this time to the sky. Open up that leg, get a stretch there through your right quad, and then bring it forward into a runner's lunge on the other side. So we're in a runner's lunge with our right leg forward this time. And then you can go ahead and bend your knee and flatten your foot to the ground. Put all of your weight on your left hand, and then just push into your right knee a little bit, opening up that hip. I feel this all down the front of my left leg. Go ahead and inhale, come back up, plant your hands, and we'll bring that leg back to plank. And press back into down dog. Hips up to the sky. And then let's come to child's pose. So knees are wide, and then feet are close together. And push your hips back with your arms forward. And your forehead can rest on the ground. Anytime you get worn out or you need a break, you need to rest, you can always come to child's pose. Don't forget to breathe here. Go ahead and inhale, come back up to your knees, tuck your toes under, pressing back up into down dog. Stretching out the back of your legs, flattening out your low back, not rounding it. And go ahead and inhale and walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands. Okay, so now we're going to try a sun salutation B. So we haven't done that yet. It's like the A, but it's just a couple more poses added to that. So we'll see how that goes. We might only do one round of that because it's a little bit more intense. So it starts with chair pose. Chair pose, you bend your knees and raise your arms up to the sky. And you're kind of sitting your butt back like you're sitting in a chair that's not really there. And this builds a ton of strength in your legs. And then you can exhale and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step one leg back and then the other to plank. And then we can lower down into chaturanga, or you can lower your knees, whichever way you want to do it. So belly down. Inhale, cobra, pushing your hands into the ground, shoulders back. Exhale, down. Inhale, pushing your way back up to plank and then down dog.
From here, let's raise our right leg up to the sky and pull it forward into warrior one. So your front leg is bent, your back leg, your foot goes at a 45-degree angle, and you raise your arms all the way up. And your hips are facing forward, your chest is facing forward, your arms are straight up to the sky. And the goal is to have that front leg parallel with the ground, but it's okay if you're up here. It takes a little time to get to where you can bend it. So anytime you need to rest, just come up a little bit. And then exhale, hands on either side of that foot into your runner's lunge. Leg goes back to plank. Chaturanga, so lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale down. Push up to plank. And then down dog. And then we'll do that other leg. So left leg rises. Pull it forward between your hands. Right foot spins down at a 45-degree angle. Lift up your arms. Hips are facing the front of the room. Leg is parallel with the ground. And then exhale, frame that foot with your hands. Spin on your toes. Take that leg back to plank. Lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale down. Tuck your toes. Go back to plank. And then down dog. So let's just take a break here, pedaling out our feet a little bit. If you need to, put your knees down, take a drink, it's fine. And then inhale, look up. Step your right leg forward, left leg forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Back into our chair pose. So you're sitting in that imaginary chair again. And then inhale all the way up to our mountain. So Sunbeat is a lot more, there's a lot more steps to it. It really kind of gets you warm, gets you going. So I think we're just gonna do one of those. Are you hot? I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit, guys. I think you're right under the heater. Okay. So we're gonna kind of slow things down, like I promised you. That was kind of the hard work, and we're halfway through class, so we're gonna do a lot of stretching now. But even when we do stretching, a lot of times I like to come into it from down dog. So we'll do just a little sun salutation just to get back to down dog. So arms lift up as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank. And then just go to down dog. From down dog, I want you to lift up your right leg and then bring it forward into pigeon. So we're placing our shin up by our hands. This is our right shin. And if you have too much space here, you can put a block under there to make it more comfortable. And then your left foot is flat on the mat. You're kind of puffing up your chest here. Play around to what feels good there. Use your props if you need to. The closer you bring your shin, the easier it is, and then the more you bring it parallel with your mat, the harder it is. And then you can go ahead and start to fold down just however far feels good. You can lay on a block if the ground's too far away. You can lay your head on your hands. This pose is so good for our hips. We hold a lot of tension in our hips. There's some major muscle groups there that do a lot of work all day long. Don't forget to take big deep breaths as we hold these stretching poses. And as you inhale, take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, just imagine letting go of all that tension. Let go of any negativity. Let go of anything that's been bothering you. And go ahead and press into your hands. Tuck your left toes under so that we can press up to get that leg back to plank and then push back into down dog. So we're just gonna do that same pose on the other side. So lift that left leg up to the sky. Go ahead and pull it forward, right behind your hands. And then walk those toes back so that your right toes are flat on the mat. The block can be under your hip if you need a little support there. Puff up your chest. And then slowly walk your way down. Whatever feels good here. We have a tendency to hold our breath when a pose is intense, but I encourage you to try to take deep breaths and long exhales. And just let it go. Let it all go. We'll inhale, push into our hands, tuck your toes under on that right leg to lift yourself up. Come back to plank and down dog. And go ahead and look forward and just walk your hands forward. And then let's just come down to a seat on our mats here. So I want to show you guys a variation of pigeon that you can do sitting on your mat. It's called double pigeon. If anything IQ hurts your knees, don't do it, and just sit cross-legged if anything I'm saying doesn't feel good. So take your left leg and it's kind of straight across your mat. And then your right leg, we're attempting to place the right foot on top of the left knee. The right knee is right above the left foot. So your legs ideally are like this. If it doesn't work, just sit cross-legged to whatever degree you're at. And then I kind of like to push on my knee to help that stretch, but you might not need to do that. And your feet are pulled back, your toes are pulled back towards your shins just to protect your knees. You don't want to hurt our knees there. And then let's just try to see what happens if you lean forward. So keep your back straight and just kind of lean forward. Only go as far as feels good. Don't stretch it, but do stretch it, but don't stress it. And just kind of roll back and forth and see how it feels in that right hip.
ahead and inhale and come up, and we'll just switch our legs. If anything hurts, back off. We don't want to tweak our knees or anything like that. We've got to be real careful of our joints. They're vulnerable. So again, your left knee is on top of your right foot and vice versa. And then we can go ahead and start to walk our hands forward here and explore that other side. Inhale, push your hands up, come on up. Now let's take our left leg out and keep your right leg in. And then we can kind of turn our torso so that we're facing that left foot. And let's try to start to lean down that way. So see how far you can go here without hurting anything. Only go as far as feels good. So it changes the stretch to where you should feel it all the way down your back on your right side. You might also feel it in the hamstring of your left leg. Just really kind of depends where you're tight. And inhale and come up, and then we'll do a side bend. So we'll take our left arm down to the mat, and then right arm, as we're looking up to the ceiling and opening your chest, your right arm can raise up, and then it can kind of lean over. So we're really stretching out that right side even more. I found that a lot of my low back pain was coming from my sides were really, really tight. And so stretching out your sides can actually help with low back stiffness. It's just all related. Inhale and come back up, and we'll switch sides. So right leg's gonna go out, left foot will come in. And move your torso so that you're facing that foot, and then just kind of walk towards that foot. Lowering your head if that feels good. Stretching out the back of your right leg, your left side. Inhale and come back up. And we'll do that side bend. So your right arm goes down to the mat, left arm, your chest opens up, left arm goes to the ceiling and then comes over towards your toes, your right toes. Inhale, come back up. And let's take our legs wide. So as wide as you'd like to go. And if you want, you can turn to the other side of your mat, whatever feels good. And then we're just gonna fold down from here and stretch the inside of our legs here. And take it easy. Don't forget to breathe. This one is always so intense for everybody, and just keep breathing and letting it go. Big breath in. Let it go. Breath in and out. And Inhale, push into your hands and come back up. And then let's swing our legs together. This one, it always looks like, I feel like that you're not doing anything. This is called staff pose. Your legs are straight out in front of you. And you're sitting up straight, your shoulders are back, and your hands are just pressing into the mat. It looks so easy, but I always find that this is more of a workout than it looks like. You're pulling your belly button into your spine, you're opening your chest, and you're breathing deep here. And then let's inhale, take our arms all the way up, and then we're gonna forward fold to whatever level feels good. And inhale, come up. From here, bend your right leg and then take it over your left thigh. So we're gonna do a little twist here. So your right foot is on the ground, left foot is forward, and then just wrap your left arm around that knee and then up, your back is straight, and then just start to twist. You can put your right hand into the ground to kind of help assist with the twist, but don't twerk your back, don't push it, don't overdo it. And inhale, come to the center, straighten out that right leg. Left leg comes in, crosses over the right. Hug that right leg. Back is straight. And you're twisting to the left now. Shoulders are pulled back. All right, let's come back to center. And I know I told you guys the hard part's over, but I do want to do just a little bit of core work. So we're gonna sneak this in at the end. We're gonna sneak it in, Michelle. She makes fun of me when I say sneak. I'll sneak right by you. Oh, we're from Kansas, aren't we? Okay, so we're gonna have your knees bent like this and inhale. And then go ahead and start to lean back and then lift up your legs. So your legs are straight. Now, I'm gonna show you a couple different levels here so that you can challenge yourself. So this is level one. You're kind of holding your legs to support yourself, but you're kind of puffing up your chest and flattening your back. So you're pulling your shoulders back. Think about your back being flat. Okay, so level two is that you'll let go and your arms are straight. And you're holding that. And then level three, you straighten your legs. I can do this some days, and other days it just feels like super hard. Like today it feels really hard. So it just depends on the day. So pick your level. And then go ahead and let your legs down. And just, that's a good idea. Jen, we're gonna do that. So that looks good to me. So let's go ahead and do a butterfly pose in between, because I want to do that again, but let's stretch real quick. Put the soles of your feet together and your knees are wide. And we've kind of explored this before, but I kind of want to revisit it. So first, let's have our feet a little farther away from us. And then go ahead and start to lean forward. And I want you to think about, notice where the stretch is when your feet are farther away. So for me, I don't know if it's for everybody, that stretch is a lot more in my lower back. And you're still breathing. Go ahead and inhale and come back up. Now, let's see what it feels like to bring those feet in closer to you. And when they're in closer, I kind of like to grab my toes, wrap my hands around there. And then let's try to lean forward again. And you're gonna see, at least for me, that changes the stretch to almost a completely different pose. And when I'm doing this, I like to push my elbows into my thighs to open it up even more. Now I feel this in my inner thighs and my groin. Completely different stretch just by changing the angle. And that's the one thing I love about practicing yoga. I can explore, I mean, you can do one pose and just by changing an angle, you can feel it so many different ways. So go ahead and inhale, come back up. And let's do one more round of the boat. So, shoulders are back. We're leaning back on our butt, bringing our feet up parallel to the ground, holding the back of our legs. And then, if you want, choosing to advance it to whatever degree feels right. Just hold it for a couple minutes. Not minutes, no. Seconds. Okay, that's good. That's good. You were like, wait a minute. It was gonna be a mutiny. I think everybody was just gonna like walk out. Okay, so I wanna do one more stretch before we get to Shavasana. So I know I do this a lot in my classes, but I just love it. What we did in the beginning, stretching our legs, I wanna revisit that and see if you guys feel any different before class and after. So you kind of remember your range of motion with your legs prior to class. I want to explore if it changed or if you're warmed up. So let's go ahead and lay on our backs again. And we're gonna do that series again. So just put it over the ball of your foot, right behind your toes on your your right foot. And then pull that strap tight. I know I always say it, but don't pull too hard, just to where, you know, your edge there. And try to remember, what was it like at the beginning of class? What do you think you have just a little bit more flexibility or? Oh, good, wonderful. Whoever said yes, thank you so much. That's great. So it just shows you, you know, so many people say, oh, I can't do yoga. I'm not flexible. Well, you 100% will become flexible if you just practice. And then open that leg up to the right and just see if it opens a little bit further than it did last time. Or maybe it just is the same, but you just don't have the same like tightness or tension. Did you kick your friend? Go ahead and bring it back to the center, and then let's go over to the left side. I always like to switch the grip of my hand to the left hand. That IT band for me I always feel it, even though I practice all the time, but I imagine how bad it would be if I didn't. That muscle would be so tight. Okay, let's switch to the left foot here. If there's any more space on that left hamstring. Don't forget to keep taking your big deep breaths and then open that leg up to the left, keeping your right leg down on the mat, right shoulder down on the mat. And then inhale, come back up. Take the strap in your right hand and then bring that foot over in line with your right shoulder, or at least in that direction. Really just to wherever you feel it the most. All right, that's great. We can take our strap down. And we're gonna do one more pose before we go into Shavasana. This one always makes everybody laugh, but it really does feel good. So this is Happy Baby, where you lift your feet up and then you grab on the outsides of your feet with your arms. Your elbows are on the inside of your knees. You're pulling down with your hands, and you're also trying to keep your tailbone as you're pulling it towards the mat, and that changes everything when you try to flatten out your spine to the mat. This is not the prettiest pose, but it's pretty effective. I promise, no one is on camera except me. Oh gosh, I'm on camera. Okay, let's stop that. I don't know why I did that pose. All right, so from here, we're just gonna lay back in Shavasana. So what I want you to do is press into your head and pull your shoulders back, and then lay your arms, open your arms and lay your palms up if that feels good. For some people, that doesn't feel good to their shoulders. So hands should be relaxed. Stretch your leg all the way out to the corner of the mat. So you're almost like this little starfish. And close your eyes. And in Shavasana, I like to come around and just press gently on your shoulders to remind you to relax them. And then I'm going to turn off the lights, and I just want you guys to let go. Let go of your breath. Let go of any effort. Let go of any stress. This is the last 5 minutes of class, to where you can just relax. Breathe. Imagine your body is melting into a warm pan. It's water, just melting every breath.
Go ahead and wiggle your fingers on your toes. You can roll out your wrists and start to wake your body back up. And you can either continue to lie here or you can bring your knees to your chest and give yourself a little hug. And walk that side to side. One last little hug for yourself here. And you can roll over to your right side and press up to sitting. And you either keep your eyes closed or open, whatever works best. And just take a big deep breath. And go ahead and close your eyes for just a moment and focus on the center of your chest. And just feel if there's any warmth there. I know we all have so much love to give, and I remain convinced that there is a lot more love in the world than not. And I want to thank you all for coming. And I say to each one of you, namaste. Namaste. Thanks, guys. How do you guys feel?